Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. Our mission is to see a world well led. And our strategy to get there? To empower leaders like you to lead every day. So let's get to work.
I hope your team is growing in its genuine community. That's what we've been talking about here on the Lead Every Day show the last few days, few weeks really. We've been talking about these having a high performance team. And I'm excited to continue this conversation today. I'm Randy Gravitt.
And I'm Mark Miller.
And Mark, we gave him a picture of what a high-performance team looks like, or we said there's a picture that you could draw, and we use a triangle. We said the base of that triangle is talent. We think the team with the best players has a really good chance of winning. But it's not enough to have talented people. You got to have some skills as well. But
individual and
team skills. We've unpacked that. Now, if you missed any of those episodes, go back and check them out. But this conversation we've had really for the last week is on the third layer of that. It's the community piece. We say that the thing that separates a really good team from a high performance team, the great teams, the elite teams, it is this genuine community, giving you all kind of things to think about the last few days. But there's another part of the triangle that we said that really, I think this is a good time to bring that back up. It was focused on results. And when I think about building community in a team, or why would we build community, there's some stuff that's on the line here. There's some stuff at stake. And I want us to talk about that. There's several things at stake. Let's unpack that a little bit today as we continue this conversation.
All right. So let's go back to why we added results. When we studied this topic of high performance teams for several decades, interestingly enough, trying to figure out why some teams flourish, why so many others flounder. And we came up with this revelation that it's the combination of the things you just mentioned, talent, skills, and community. And we kept getting people asking us, but why would we do this? And we said, well, for results, for performance. And people went, oh, well, really? I said, yeah. So we went back, and now when we draw that triangle, we put results in the center.
It's the bullseye.
That is what is at stake. I mean, there are other things, and we're going to talk about them, and I think they all matter. But you don't build a high-performance team because it's fun. You don't do it because it's easy. You don't do it because it's in vogue. You do it because it's a strategy that will turbocharge the performance of your team. That's the first thing at stake. Yeah. You don't have to build a high-performance team. People ask me, do I have to do this? It's like, nope. You can choose to artificially limit your performance. And that's your choice and your accountability as a leader. You get to choose.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So performance is definitely on the line here. Mm-hmm. I think something else is on the line is fulfillment. We've kind of danced around this a little bit, but I've said this. Yeah, it's hard, it's squishy, it's all this kind of stuff. We do get better results if we really believe in each other and love each other and serve each other and know each other. Our performance is going to go up, but it's so much more fulfilling when we know the people that we're going to the top of the mountain. I run into leaders all the time. They get to the top and they turn around and nobody's with them. That's not the goal. The goal is to get to the top, but it's to get there together.
Yeah.
And I think when we climb together, there is fulfillment. And I know you're a mountain climber. There's something I've run marathons. There's something about getting to the end of these things that you've trained with people and you're with people versus just going and running one by myself through the years. I've done that a couple of times as well. But when you got a teammate, so to speak, or you got a climbing mate, somebody you're trying to go to the top with together, there's something about that picture that you look back on and you go, we did that. I mean, it's
so
huge.
One of the things at stake, just to say it slightly differently, are deep personal relationships. Many of the men and women that I have been in community with on high-performance teams over the last 40 years are still some of my dearest friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not say that's the reason to do it, but it is a real and tangible outcome of building a high-performance team.
There's an old saying, everybody's heard it. It's lonely at the top. I think it's only lonely if you go alone. I mean, right. I think that
it's not lonely if you take people with you.
If you take people with you, it's not lonely. There's a togetherness that's really great. Okay, another thing I think is on the line here is actually what we would call stewardship. It is just not responsible as a leader to say, I'm going to get 1 + 1 + 1, and we're going to be happy with 4 if 10 is available. If our potential is 10, plus exponential beyond that. Who knows what you could accomplish if you're together, really together. I think there's a stewardship thing, and I think a lot of us, if we're not careful, will squander what could be because it's not comfortable or it takes time or some of those things we've been talking about. It's stewardship's on the line as well.
And I've been on teams that were work groups because they weren't really teams. I've been on other teams that were real teams, and then I've had the privilege to be on some high performance teams. And if you ask me about the stewardship associated with those different scenarios, I think it's clearly better stewardship to get 10x the results than it is to say, you do your work, and you do your work, and we'll just add it up, and that's our collective output.
Yeah.
It's just not good stewardship.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, anything else? Well, you got anything else you'd say that's at stake here when you think about this idea of pursuing genuine community? What else?
Yeah, I think this whole idea of joy at work. And I think so many people are missing joy at work. And I hate that.
I mean, think about it, Mark. How much time do we spend at work? I mean, you're spending a
third
third of your life at work.
I've just done some recent calculations. There have been some folks out there popularizing what you can do with the 10,000-hour rule. Mm-hmm. Well, the typical adult in America is going to work over 100,000 hours in their lifetime.
Yeah.
How many people are going through that without joy?
Yeah.
And I hate it for those folks.
Yeah,
my heart breaks for those men and women. I'd love to see more joy at work.
And it's available.
It's available.
It's available. I mean, one of the things that could heighten your joy at work would be to be a part of a genuine community, people who know each other, who love each other, who serve each other, who celebrate and mourn together, all that stuff we talked about in the last few days. This is possible. And your team, if you're listening, your team could really get better but a lot's on the line here.
Yeah, and here's the deal.
So easy
I
to
think
miss this.
we were born for community. I think there's something in human beings that we long for community. Now, I think it's tragic. I would argue that most humans have never experienced the type of community that we're describing.
Yeah.
And I would also suggest that once you experience what we've been talking about this week, being known and the serving and the loving and the celebrating and the mourning with a group of people, you'll chase it the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You'll go create it. If you're part of that kind of community and it is taken from you for whatever reason, you'll go try to recreate it.
Well,
because you were born for this.
Yeah, that's so good. I think one of the reasons we're looking for a golf group or a church group or a friend group or a social club or whatever is because of what you're saying here. And we look for this stuff outside of work and we think, well, I can't get this at work. Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not? It's because a leader hasn't decided this is going to be a strategy. And stewardship's on the line, and there is stuff at stake. We really can do greater work. But here's the cool part about it. It's like the paradox of it. You begin to do this to focus on results, and you end up with more joy, which is just great for everybody involved. So it's a good conversation here as we do it. Okay, there's one more thing I want us to talk about. We're gonna come back to that tomorrow. I want to do a little bit of a recap here on this idea of community. I think there's some things that we've not talked about that we can give them one more thing to think about. Today, I would just encourage you to spend some time with your team at some point in the next month and ask them what is at stake here for us to get this right. And you've gotten all kind of stuff. You may need to listen to an episode or something together as a team, something that you've heard, say, you know what, we've got a little bit of a gap there. It's an opportunity for us to grow. If so, we encourage you to work on that. The best teams really do go together. They get to the top. There is no lonely at the top if you go with somebody, and you can do that. And I just encourage you to continue to make progress day by day here. Little by little, your team can be a high-performance team, but it can't be if you don't pursue genuine community. Remember, the best leaders lead every day.